Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Priyanka Neelakrishnan Show, Enterprise Security Series, episode 33. And today's topic: the login is dead. Your security waits for someone to sign in, and your agents never do. I want you to think about every security alert your team has ever built. Every single one, failed one, login from a new device, impossible travel where the same account logins or signs in from two continents an hour apart. A password sprayed across 100 accounts at 3 in the morning. Sit with that list for a second and you will notice something they all have in common. Every one of them begins at the same moment. Somebody logs in. The login is the heartbeat of enterprise security. It is the instant a person stands at the door, proves who they are, and a session opens that we can watch. Almost everything we do hangs off that one event. Now, here is the problem most security programs have not fully absorbed. Your AI agents never log in. They were born inside your network already holding a key. There is no sign in to flag, no session to watch, no log out that tells you they are done. The single event your entire defense is built to detect simply does not happen. That is the login. The login is dead. And a lot of security teams are still standing at the door waiting. This matters right now because of what those agents are actually doing while you stand at the door. They are not idle. They are reading your CRM, querying your data warehouse, moving files, calling external services, and handing data to each other constantly at machine speed. The most active users in your environment are now the ones your tools are least equipped to see because they refuse to perform the one ritual your tools are waiting for. That is the login. Let me make this concrete. Because the abstract version does not land, picture a normal automated workflow. An agent wakes up on a schedule. It calls an API into your CRM and pulls a list of your top accounts. It summarizes them. It hands that summary to a second agent, which drops it into a shared spreadsheet, which triggers a third agent that emails a customer. Now stop and count what just happened. Sensitive customer data was read, transformed, moved across 3 systems, and sent outside the company. And here is the question that matters. How many logins were in that chain? 0 logins. 0. Literally 0. How many sessions did your tools have to attach? 0 again. If a human employee had done that exact sequence by hand, you would have had 4 or 5 events to inspect, and at least one of them probably would have tripped a rule. The agent did the same work and generated nothing your login based monitoring knows how to catch. This is not a gap in your configuration, it is a gap in the model itself. We built our defenses around the session, and the agent does not have one. Here is the receipt on how much this is already costing. IBM's 2025 Cost of Data Breach report was the first year they studied AI security directly. 13% of organizations reported a breach of their AI models or applications, and of those, 97% lacked proper AI access controls. 97%, just imagine. Read it carefully because it's not saying the controls failed, it is saying the controls were never there in the first place. And the reason they were never there is exactly what we're talking about today. The controls were designed to fire on a login, and the agents skip it. IBM also found that the single most common way these AI incidents started was through the AI supply chain. The apps, APIs, and plugins the agents connect to, and 60% of those incidents ended in data compromise. This is not a future problem, it is present tense and it is landing. So here is the shift, and I'll be honest, it is uncomfortable because it means retiring some muscle memory that has served us well for 20 years. Stop instrumenting the login. Start instrumenting the data. The old question was who signed in? Is this login normal? The new question, the one that actually maps to how agents behave, is different. What touched this piece of data? What touched this piece of data? Under whose permission? And where did it go next? You take your cameras off the front door where the interesting traffic no longer travels and you point them at the data itself. Every read, every write, every handoff from one agent to the next, tied to an identity and an authorization, whether or not anyone ever logged in to make it happen. In practice, a data-centric control looks like this. For any sensitive data set, you can answer the full list of identities that touched it in the last day, human and not human, and the permission each one used. When an agent reaches for data outside its declared scope, that is an event, not a shrug. And the picture you build is not a list of logins, it is a graph of access graph. Who or what can reach this data, through which path, and did they actually use it? That graph does not care whether the actor was a person at a keyboard or an agent on a timer, and that is exactly why it survives in a world where the sign-in is disappeared. Here is your move. Take one of your existing detections, any login based rule you are proud of, and ask a simple question of it. If an agent did the same harmful thing through an API with a valid credential and never logged in, would this rule fire? Walk it through honestly. For a lot of your best detections, the answer is going to be no. That no is the assignment. The door is not where the risk is anymore. We spent a generation guarding the entrance, and the traffic that actually matters stopped using it. It comes and goes quietly through APIs around the clock, never announcing itself the way a person does. If your security is still waiting for a login, you're guarding a door your busiest users walk straight past. So move your cameras, watch the data, not the door. I am Priyanka Neela Krishnan. Next time we push one level deeper because once you are watching what the agents do, you hit a harder question. Can you actually trust what they tell you? Alright, see you in the next one. Until then, this is me, Priyanka Neela Krishnan.